What's going on, everyone? Episode 43 today of Putting You in Your Place. I just got to stop for a second and just say, hey, I appreciate everybody that continues to watch. Please, right now, I need your help. Share this, like this, comment along the way so we get the most engagement we possibly can here. George Beamer's with us today of Beamer Solutions. I'm excited. Hey, man, like this outline we put together, like you went ham on the outline. Like you were so engaging with us getting prepared for this thing.
Yes.
And I'm like excited that you're excited.
Yes.
And I appreciate you being here.
I am very excited for this opportunity, and I really appreciate it too.
Yeah, man. So we're going to push you as hard as we possibly can.
That sounds good to
And
me.
we're going to, in this conversation, I hope to uncover like what you do and who you are. And if anybody says, hey, I need this, you're going to be our guy.
That sounds good.
So like we're going to definitely use this opportunity to collaborate together and like, eat together. And that's, I'm excited. I'm really excited about this. So
yes.
Let's just get right into it, man.
Let's do it.
Who are you? What, what are you up to? Like, what's your business? And just take us through that.
So my name is George Beamer, and I'm the owner and operator of Beamer Solutions. We are a service business, and we provide, the main service we provide is pressure washing services, but we also provide junk removal and handyman services. It's not, we'll find out a little bit later, but it's not as directed towards that. That's kind of the goal this year, is to move more towards one specific thing, and that is washing.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So you're pretty much just shining things up, bringing them back to their old glory.
Correct.
Pretty much.
Yes.
And like the examples I've seen of your work, you are definitely doing that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, like I was really impressed with some of the things that you were able to accomplish,
Yes.
the before and afters.
Yeah.
So, so you say you've done some handyman services, some junk removal. Tell us like a war story. Give us some war stories of like I know that this junk removal thing could be like, oh my gosh, like wow.
It is.
So give me a war story.
It is. I could probably write a book about some of the things that I've seen. We'll keep it PG right now. But besides like, dead animals and like needles and stuff like that, probably one of the worst things I experienced was this house. And it was a nice house. It was just a couple things that needed to be removed, and there was a refrigerator in there, and it was a nice fridge. And they were like, we need that cleaned out too. And I go to open the fridge. I didn't realize that the house was abandoned and the electricity's been turned off for 6 months. And go to open that fridge, and there was the stench did not subside. I had to leave there for about an hour. It was maggots and bugs, and just, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So we just hauled that fridge off. I just told them,
This is a losing battle.
Let's go ahead and take this away.
Right. So in those moments, like, what do you got to charge? Like, what do you got to like when you see this task? Like, how do you formulate like what you got to charge somebody?
Well, I definitely try to be fair. I know there's a bunch of people that that can remove stuff. So you try to be fair, try to be professional. You just try to make it worth your time and let them know. And in most cases, you are pretty much the last resort with like the junk removal and stuff like that. That's what I've learned, that you are like, their last hope pretty much. So,
yeah.
But
I think we're a little bit similar because like you said, there's plenty of people that will remove your junk, and there's plenty of people that can offer you real estate service, but it's like, we're offering the same thing that a lot of other people are, and our prices can be completely different.
Yes.
Because of like our expertise, our willingness to work hard, our willingness to do the job.
Yes.
Expertly, like top level professionally.
Yes.
So like I think we we probably demand a fee. For me, I think I'm demanding a fee that I feel like is fair versus someone else that is willing to work for that discount, that just wants the job, that's just so desperate to handle this task, that they're willing to just give away their time and really give away their money to not get paid properly.
Yes.
So like I always encourage people, like if you offer a good service, like, you know, this is you're hiring us for the white glove service. Yes. Even though you're in junk, like you're still giving them the white glove service of the junk, right? Yes. Of the junk removal.
Yes.
And like the speed and the care and like the way that you leave things is crucial.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure from the examples I've seen of your work, I feel like you do that.
Yes. Well, and then like with like refrigerators, some junk you can't just throw away. And especially if you're like a company doing this stuff, you can't just throw away paint. You can't just throw away something with Freon in it.
You have to know where it goes.
You have to know where it goes. That takes time to go out there and do it. And a lot of the times, you know, people be like, oh, it doesn't take that long or whatever, but you know, you still have to haul it somewhere. You know, you still have to recycle it properly. You can't just throw it somewhere. Or I mean, that's not what we do anyway.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so like people don't get it. People have a real hard time distinguishing between the ones that are available, right? And I feel like we have pride in the work we do. Mm-hmm. We are professionals in the work that we do. Like that's what we strive to be anyway. Like their judgment of us can be whatever it is. Yeah. But deep down in our soul, we know that we provide something that's higher level than you can achieve yourself.
Yes.
And we display that in our work. You know, like like anybody can cut hair, but you go to a hairstylist if you want top-notch quality looks.
That's correct.
So the same thing applies to me and you, that if you want our service, like we're willing to get in the trenches. We're willing to get in the trenches and we know how to get out.
Yes.
Type thing. So I like finding common ground. And I feel like that's where our common ground is.
Yeah.
Is like there's plenty of people that do the things that we do, but are they going to be us doing them?
Exactly. I can't tell you how many people I've came across, like homeowners, I mean, just anybody, and I've got called over to their place for whatever reason, and they have just said, you are the first person that actually has shown up.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of that out there, a lot.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just show up. That's what you have to do just most of the time, is just show up.
Yep. Honestly, one of my good friends 3 or 4 years ago said that if there was anybody in these fields that you're in, the handyman, the junk removal, like just this trade, this trade that just showed up on time, did what they said they were going to do, and said please and thank you, they would dominate.
That's all you have to do. I've had so many customers too that actually have given me tips just because they're like, you know, you've talked to us, and like, because a lot of people after they're done with the job, they just want to leave, go on to the next job, but it's that extra personal touch.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not just looking to take your money and leave. You know, it's a service, and I just want to be treated like how I'd want to be treated too.
And it's a long-term relationship.
It is.
So honestly, like where I come in the mix is I feel like you have access to me. If you're a current, past, or future client of mine, I want to give you full access to me at pretty much all times. And like if you need something, I'm gonna be punching the clock for you. If you call me, I'm punching the clock.
Yeah.
And when you actually need me, if you need me to show up and walk in the door, then I'd like to get paid for all that time that I've spent with you along the way.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, for you, how that relates to you is like you're putting your name out there to be known. Yep. And when they call you, like, you know, when they call you, like, to show up in that moment, like that relationship that you've developed with them should equal a payday.
Yeah.
You know?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go into like that social media thing.
Okay.
Tell me about where you are, what you're doing. Like I want this show to help you expand people's to expand your reach, to get people to know you more and to create that relationship.
Absolutely.
So let's just go into the business aspect, like where are you spending money to market yourself, what social media platforms you're on, and like what your strategy is.
So pretty much when I first started, it was just the business cards, and I would put those up over at like Kroger, and I would get like a list of all the realtors in the area and mail all that stuff out.
Yeah.
So it was very basic at the beginning, just business cards. This past winter, though, I've been working on making a website. I got the website up, been working on Google with SEO and stuff like that, and get that. It's been more of like an organic rise. I'm kind of some of that stuff like ad clicks and stuff. I'm kind of hesitant about right now.
Yeah.
I was on Home Advisor for a while, and that was kind of a joke. They would charge you for like leads that weren't real, and there was a big like lawsuit about that. But so I got off there. But pretty much Google was the big goal this past winter. Yelp, I've been on there for a while. Facebook, of course. Instagram.
Have you spent any money on Facebook?
No.
Yeah.
No, the only reason I have, because I used to play in bands back in the day, and we used to like put money towards that, and we discovered, I don't know if it's like this anymore because that was a long time ago, but it was a bunch of like fake like bots that it was going to and stuff. So I haven't spent any money on that.
Yeah.
But that's one of my strategies this year, is really focus on the marketing aspect of stuff, because you know, I pretty much have about everything else, you know, down. Of course, you're always still learning and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've said it before on my page. I've said there's a quote that, you know, attention will get you in the door and talent will keep you in the room.
Yes.
So you know, you got to have both.
Yeah.
You got to have both. And marketing and brand is very important. Yes. You know, like you can pay somebody for actionable leads, you know, but that gets expensive.
Yes.
Branding, all this marketing actually really gets expensive. So you know, you try to track and measure as good as possible, but attention at all cost.
Yes.
You know, and that's kind of one of the things that we believe in too, is like we're trying to do things that we feel like people are going to be entertained by or informed by. Mm-hmm. And then that maybe we can turn that into a transaction down the road.
Yes.
So like, you know, we built proper audiences. We have a good website that's you know, when we put a link out there on Facebook, we capture their information and we can retarget them. We can email market them. Like email marketing, it still hits. Yes. I mean, we only get maybe a 10% open rate, but we've gotten really good business off of the direct email.
Yeah.
So if you understand the top of the funnel game, you know, the Facebook ads that lead to your website, that lead to information capture, that lead to email marketing, that lead to retargeting on social media. You know how you'll look at a product or you'll look at a service and it'll follow you around to all the websites.
Oh yeah,
like that's a real thing. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. And like when people can become familiar with you, and you've invaded their mind space in what you're offering, because they only have a limited amount of room for anything. You know, like there's only a couple people you know as realtors. Unless you have a lot of friends that are realtors, if you have no friends in realtors, you're only going to know about 2 or 3. Yeah. You know, unless you've got that one solid relationship with a realtor. Mm-hmm. So same thing in your avenue, that if they're gonna know somebody that can do the pressure washing or the junk removal or the handyman stuff, you've got to invade their mind space for that. And Facebook advertising, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of those platforms are getting attention, obviously. Mm-hmm. TikTok, number one, is like the free organic reach that I would recommend that you starting with to like repurpose content from. And I've got a great example that I think that you should do over and over and over and over again, because every job you go to is a little bit unique. Yes. So it's not like you're going to be doing the same stuff. You're going to be at different locations, doing some of the same theory, some of the same strategy around each individual job. Yeah. So I wanted to bring that up and let the audience see that and let you react to that, because like this should be your go-to. You should learn this particular video and do it like at every job in some way. So let's bring that up, Weston. Bring that up and let us see that, and we'll react to that. Okay, hold on before you go there. Like,
cool.
This is a before and after, and this is in front of the Old Town Mall in Christiansburg,
Yep.
and this is a before and after of the work that he does. And wow, night and day, night and day, absolutely night and day. So like that's a decade. That's probably a decade or more of nothing versus probably 3 or 4 hours of thoughtful, hard work.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. So let's go to the TikTok.
Let's check that out.
Yep.
Okay.
And we'll start this over. And so obviously, this is a before and after of a pool. This is. Are you playing the sound?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, we need the sound.
I'm trying to get my mouse back over.
Yeah, the sound is the most crucial thing about it. So this is like the Call of Duty when you're like
pretty interesting.
yeah,
I like that.
So you're gonna throw the grenade.
Yeah.
You're gonna do the before. You're gonna throw the grenade.
Boom.
You're gonna hide. You're gonna hide and duck.
Yeah.
And it's gonna go off, and then you're gonna come back. You're gonna come back in the same manner with the finished products done. And you can repurpose this content on every single job because they're all going to be so different.
I like that.
Yeah.
I've stuck with like the pictures and stuff, but that's pretty unique. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So like if you did that over and over and over and over again, I bet it would get a lot of views.
Yes.
You know, and then at some point you need to do some content that they get to see you. You know,
Yes.
Yeah. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
Don't be like. I think you're okay with the camera.
Yeah.
You know, so like just
Yep.
put something, find something that you want to rip off and duplicate, and put yourself on camera doing those things. Like if you're like if somebody like if you have a crew, if you're not just like a one man band. I didn't even get to that. Are you?
It's just one man band.
Okay.
Man. It's me doing all the marketing, like accounting, graphic design work.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that you see on Facebook or like on the websites or anything that's 100% me.
Yeah. So at some point, if you want to scale this and do more, you're gonna have to leverage you.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna have to leverage you. Like, you know, if you have something great, don't not blow it up. You know, like I always encourage, if you've got a home run service product, whatever, make it a real business.
Yes.
Make it something that you could sell one day.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm trying to do myself is like, you know, like I'm going to rebrand my business at some point with a more marketable name than the Scott Bunn division.
Yeah.
Because the Scott Bunn division can't be sold to you.
Correct.
I can't sell it to somebody.
I kind of thought about that too when I did the Beamer Solutions and stuff, and the name was not always Beamer Solutions.
Oh yeah, we know the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was gonna avoid that topipic because I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
sloppy seconds. I like sloppy seconds. Why did you change
junk
that?
removal. So I wanted to scoot more away because I started getting more into pressure washing. And if anyone, the way I looked at it, if you're going to hire somebody to pressure wash, you're not going to hire sloppy seconds junk removal to pressure wash your place. I mean, some people have, but I wanted to, and I've had people tell me, you know, you need to use your last name and stuff, especially for this area, and utilize that. And,
I mean, you have a name that hits hard.
Yeah.
You know? So like you can capitalize off that for sure. And that's a name that is like, that's a kind of a neutral name and a very highly acceptable name. So if you really blow that up, you could probably sell that to somebody.
I've thought about that.
Yeah, but do you want to sell your name to somebody?
Correct.
Yeah. So like so you might look at rebranding at some point, but you do have something that could supply you plenty of attention, and like you could definitely capitalize off that. So that's a debate to have more in the future.
Oh yeah.
Like me, like, you know, as long as I'm just running here and I'm not, you know, in my final resting place for my real estate business that's going to attract other salespeople, then I'm going to keep the name.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Changing that name was extremely stressful. I knew it needed to happen, but it's just like, you know, basically what's the new name going to be? And, but yeah, that was difficult because everybody already knew that was the whole purpose of that sloppy seconds junk removal name, is that it's stuck and nobody forgot about it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to switch over to something, I guess, a little bit more like professional and
you know, and that's a lot of the feedback from people that have never had the courage to put something together.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people that can come in that you would like advice from that only has your protection in mind.
Yeah.
And we lose a lot of opportunities and a lot of freedoms when it comes to security and safety.
Yes.
Safety has ruined so many people's opportunities in life.
You're right.
And going safe isn't necessarily the best solution all the time.
No.
So like, sloppy second solutions, I almost like that, but now you're in it, now you're in it.
Yes.
So waffling, I'm not with the waffling either. So you've made a decision.
Yes.
It's a reasonable decision. Mm-hmm. Maybe you have the parent company. I like the name.
Yes.
I like the name. Maybe like the parent company is Sloppy Seconds Enterprises, and that you're doing business as Beamer Solutions and what other endeavors that you have. But like, let that name live.
I've thought about that, man, because a bunch of people were like, "Oh man, I loved that name," and I've thought about like bringing it back as like maybe a trademark or something, and maybe like making some T-shirts or something like
merch.
that.
I'm all about merch. I'm all about the merch, man.
It was such a good name, and
I said, that needs to live.
Yeah, I think so too.
So that could be your parent company.
Yeah.
You're like when you scale and you have employees doing the administration of your job or the sales of your job, maybe you like to get out and do the work. Obviously you do well at it. So maybe you're not the sales guy, or maybe you're not the payment processor. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're not running down every invoice. Something like that, because I know that can be tricky.
Oh yeah,
in your business, I know.
Yes.
I know, like you do some work on good faith, and you don't require any payment up front.
Correct.
And you get screwed.
Yeah.
So I know that's
it hasn't happened yet. Thank goodness. But there's always that risk. You always go into those jobs and you're thinking, it'd be easy for somebody not to pay you.
Yeah.
That's just the risk you have to take.
Yeah.
So.
And this is a payment on delivery job. Another place we are similar is we don't typically demand payment until services are rendered.
Yes.
And that's another reason we get to charge a little premium, is that we don't get paid on a W-2 scale every single hour.
Correct.
So there's risk to it. There's liability to it.
Yeah.
So you've dodged that so far.
Yes.
Good.
I've been able to navigate myself through there pretty well. So
awesome.
This coming up May 1st, it'll be 4 years since I quit my job and decided to put my money where my mouth was and see if I could do it myself.
Takes a lot of courage, bro.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage.
I didn't realize it at the time, and now I'm looking back on it in hindsight. I'm like, man, that does. It takes a lot of courage to quit your job, and you get a paycheck bi-weekly, and you have to give that up, and you don't know where your next paycheck's coming from.
Yep. So, for me, there's a level of excitement about that, because I don't look at it as I have no security. I look at it as I have unlimited potential to achieve freedom.
Yes.
And that's all I'm after.
Yeah.
I don't want to be beholden to anybody. I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm dependent on some things.
Yes.
Even though I can't say that I'm not fully not dependent, I've got Remax, I've got my upline in Remax, so I'm held accountable a little bit.
Yes.
But I've got the freedoms to change that if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily have to be with Remax or my upline, but I love them. I'm loyal, so that's the reason why I'm with Remax, and we'll probably, as long as Amy Hudson is a Remax broker, I'm just going to follow her around. So I just feel like the freedoms that we're after, the opportunities, it shows major courage. It shows major self-belief, man. So I just want to say, me and you before today, we were strangers.
Yep.
But I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm encouraged that there's other people after it.
Yeah.
And now that we're connected, I hope for longevity with you, and
Absolutely.
You're able to jump in there and provide the services that you're capable of for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. So what else we got here? Future plans. Give us some future plans that you have. Like what do you vision your company to be?
Right now, I'm like it's been ever since I started you got to work with what you got. You know, my last name's Beamer, but I'm not related to Frank.
Yeah.
So I don't have those kinds of funds.
Right.
So, you know, you just got to work with what you got. This past year, I just invested in some hose reels for my like pressure washing stuff, and that's knocked off like 30, 45 minutes of setup and takedown. So it's just those little steps. You know, hopefully one day I could, you know, set up the whole truck and, you know, get like a big rig going and stuff, and maybe get like a water tank. I've had a bunch of people that have contacted me about washing like churches and stuff like that, but there's no access to water, and you would need a water tank for that. So that's one of the steps towards that. But I think really right now it's just, I think, you know, I've got the work down and stuff, and, you know, I think I'm really shooting towards the marketing and really like trying to get like out there.
Tell us about what your perfect week would be. You know, like, you know, you've got so many clients a day, you're going boom, boom, boom. Like what you feel like, you know, you need to kind of live, and like, you know, what are your goals personally? Like, are you a homeowner? Like, do you have any of those aspirations? That type thing. Like, what are you trying to achieve? Like, what's your why? You know, like what drives you to get out there every day?
It's the freedom, to be honest with you, because I've worked since I've been 15 years old, and I worked with like grocery stores for a little while, and just I started out as a bag boy when I was 15, and just kind of worked that corporate world and worked at a call center for a while, and then I've worked maintenance for a really long time. When I started working maintenance, I had no idea about any of that stuff. I couldn't tell you what a pair of channel locks were or anything like that, and a year later I was, you know, running a van, doing calls and stuff like that. But it's really the freedom. I love to garden. I have time to garden now and not, you know, have to work on flipping a house or something. So that's kind of nice. But a nice week really is just if my phone's just going off the hook and I don't know what to do about it, really.
Yeah.
That happened a couple times last year. And
do you typically go on multiple jobs per day? Like, are you just like, all right, if I get 3 jobs a week, I'm good. Like, you know, like, where's your sweet spot?
As many as I can fit. What I've learned over the past few years, because when I first started doing this, I would work 24/7, 365. And I have learned that you cannot, at least I can't do that. Like, you need that mental, you know, break to kind of get away from things for a little while and, you know, do your own thing and stuff. So
how do you shift your business in the winter months when no pressure washing really goes on?
Well, what really helped out with that was the junk removal. When I started doing junk, I was doing a couple yard sales and stuff, but where I live, it's not really a good place to have yard sales. So I started messing around with eBay, and I found great success in that. And I've only done that for a couple years maybe, and I have over 200 like positive reviews on there right now.
That's the great thing about the junk thing is you can warehouse that stuff, and you can clean it up, and you can resell it.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I found great success with books. I've sold a lot of books.
So I think where we could really partner up is if I got a house full of stuff the owner doesn't want and the buyer doesn't want, and it's free.
Yeah, give me a call.
You're going to want it. You're going to want it in there right away, right?
I'll go over there for free.
Yeah,
I won't even charge anything just to take a look.
And I've got the facility. You know, I've got a 15-foot U-Haul style moving truck that if you didn't have the capacity to get the things,
that works.
Me and you could partner up, and maybe we could percentage off something.
That works.
You know, like I think that'd be a good little way to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, eBay has definitely helped out with that a bunch, and you know, the junk removal, it's not as lucrative as pressure washing, but you have to be smart with it, and you know, you sell a couple books for $10 a pop, and next thing you know, you're selling. I mean, you know, you're able to keep things going, and like the packaging, I buy, you know, like, you know, thousands of, you know, packages and stuff, and they end up being like, you know, a couple cents per package, so you're not really spending that much, you know, shipping items and stuff like that. So
I've got a buddy that does that. He runs around the auctions and storage building auctions, and like he's like the local you know, arbitrager.
Yeah.
You know, like he's taking one thing from one store and he's taking it to Amazon, and
Yeah.
you know, he's seeing the deals and he's getting the deals, and then he's just breaking them up and then selling them off for retail on online stores.
Yes.
So like, you know, I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just basically sit around during the wintertime, and if you know, because most of the time you can't pressure wash, and you know, there's an occasional junk removal job and like handyman job or something like that, but I have like over like close to 500 things for sale right now. So
Wow.
and of course you have to keep those things somewhere. So my house is kind of a stock room. right now.
And you have to keep the administration going to renew those things, and
Yes.
like even just clicking the button on that many items, I bet that's very, very time consuming.
It is not so much with the books. What I've learned with the books, you can scan the barcode and everything for the most part 90% of the time comes up, so you don't have to really type in anything. So it just makes things a lot easier with books. And then you don't get people that are like, oh, you know, it was damaged or something, you know, it's a book. So I don't really get much of that. So
Gotcha. Can I do a quick home buying consultation with you?
yeah,
Like,
sure.
so are you a homeowner?
Yes.
Okay, you're a homeowner.
Yep.
So did you get that home before you went on this endeavor, or were you able to report enough income to get that home while you've been doing what you're doing?
It was before.
Wise move.
Yes.
Wise move. Because it would have depended on your reported income
Yes.
2 years after you left that W-2 job
Yeah.
to be able to buy the home. And then in your industry, you know, like your cash transactions sometimes, like, you know, and this is where a lot of people get trapped up, is they don't properly account for all their money, and they get really, really hindered by Uncle Sam.
Yes.
You know, and I would encourage everybody that's making any dollars in this country
Yes.
to report properly, set their business up to take advantage of all the tax code.
Yes.
But certainly do not report and not file. And like so it sounds like you're thoughtful in every aspect. Like you understood the ramifications of your actions.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I knew, like, especially with like when you do jobs and stuff, I save more for like taxes than what I should.
Yeah.
And that's really helped out a lot, like saving more than really what you should. And
Yeah,
stuff.
I get overwhelmed sometimes in my own business because I've got such high overhead and we got such ambitious goals. And my tax account, like 3X's my operating account sometimes. And I'm like, dude, like I need that money.
Yeah.
I need that money. Like give me that. Let me just dip into that for a second.
Yeah.
Like I've had to take action to not be able to dip into that fund.
Yes.
Like I've got to make that money disappear so I don't go back to the well.
Correct.
You know, and that's been hard for me.
Yeah.
That's been really hard for me. And like I said, like my payroll, my marketing budget, my ultimate goal, I already spend money like I'm making it to my goal.
Yes.
You know, and that's kind of dangerous too.
Yeah.
That's not probably the right strategy, but I'm just willing to achieve these things at all cost.
Yes.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of my mindset.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm a little bit more conservative. I hate spending money that I don't have.
Yeah.
And like, you know, those hose reels I was talking about, that was a small investment, but you know, with taking off, you know, 30 to 45 minutes per pressure washing job, I mean, that saves, you know, I can fit in another job that day.
Right.
Sometimes with doing that.
Yeah. I've just gotten so much coaching of like, get big, and figure it out. Figure it out.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, that's from people far up the chain, the food chain than me. But I keep hearing this, and I just got major self-belief that things are going to work out because I'm doing the things that they've done.
Yeah,
and like I am kind of shooting from the hip, but I do believe in everything, the vision that I have, and watching others achieve it.
Yeah.
I just know that if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
So I just want to pass that message along. Maybe have a little bit more conservative strategy, but believe in yourself we do.
Yes.
And go after it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's all about being happy and having the freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom of like whatever the life you want.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity.
Yes.
And we're kind of proof of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
I see on your outline you talking about running your business only on a phone And no
Yes.
internet? Tell me about that.
All right. So as far as no internet, where I live at, we can't really get like good internet. So I have to work off of the towers basically. So there's barely like, you can get like 3G in like certain places in my house. I'll just put it in perspective. If I were to send like an invoice email, sometimes it takes 30 minutes to send that.
Gotcha.
So it's just, it's sometimes it's a pain, but it's kind of nice sometimes to, not have all that.
You know what's going to solve your problems?
What's that?
Starlink.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Elon Musk.
I've heard about that.
Putting high-speed satellite.
I hope so.
Yeah, like that's going to be available for our area.
Good.
And it's already they're already open for you to buy the equipment that's going to need to be put on the house.
Yeah.
And like that's going to be to scale in the New River Valley in the next 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So like that problem's going to be solved.
Well, good.
Like I almost fear all the money that's going to be spent on broadband in our local community now that Starlink's available. Like why even waste the money?
Yeah.
That's
because I haven't really looked too much into that Starlink or anything. I don't know too much about it, but I've called all the broadband places and I've like, I'll pay you to bury a line or whatever, and they're like, oh, we can't serve you out there.
Yeah.
So. And they're about to get taken over, is what it sounds like.
It is like that is going to be the highest speed possible too.
Really?
Like you've heard of the HughesNet thing?
Oh yeah.
Kind of garbage.
Yeah.
Kind of like really slow, and you can't stream. A couple people can't even stream, or like there's still problems with that. But Starlink is the game changer. The Starlink is going to get us past like the wire.
Yeah.
So I'm encouraged, and I hope the hype is real, but typically with Elon, the hype is real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I fully trust that that's going to be a viable solution. And I'm putting it in all of my remote rental properties.
Yeah.
I'm paying the fee, and we're going to get it installed.
Awesome.
So be encouraged that that's going to end for you soon. Yeah.
Good. Yes.
So you won't have to make any housing decisions based on the detriment of your business not being able to get to the world.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a huge problem here in the New River Valley.
It really is in certain places. Yeah, the rural places for sure.
Yeah. There's so much mountainous terrain. I mean, cell phone signal is just like questionable.
Yeah.
I was running down Allegheny Springs and Shawsville yesterday. If something was to happen there,
you're done.
I'm done. I'm done. Like seriously, there's no way to get a call out. Mm-hmm. Like that's scary.
There's been a couple junk removal jobs I've done, and just out in the middle of nowhere, and it's just like, and if something were to go wrong, like kind of, it's done.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, what else we got here? I think we got any questions. We got any questions on this thing?
We don't have any questions. Christy says George is awesome. He has the best prices.
No doubt.
Thanks, Christy. You're awesome too.
No doubt. Well, is there anything like any questions you have about what we're doing here, or how can I be more valuable to you?
I think what you guys are doing here is awesome, because when I saw the initial like Facebook post, I was like, I've got to jump on this, because that was in the stage when I was doing the internet stuff and getting online and on Google, and I was still doing the business, like this new name and stuff, and I haven't really posted pictures of like myself on the Beamer Solutions page or Savvy Seconds page or whatever, and I think this is a great idea.
Well, let me encourage you again. Put your face in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Let more people get to know you, hear you. Do those job TikToks. That is a great little 15-second video you could repurpose. That could be the only thing you ever do on TikTok.
Yeah.
But I think that will give you major views, major opportunity, and it's kind of fun too.
It is.
It's almost like an annual of like what you're capable of. Mm-hmm. And when you want to show somebody what you've done, like on the site, you bring your phone up, hey, this is what I can do.
Yes.
And you show them the befores and afters.
Yeah.
So you don't have to just tell them, you can show them.
Yeah.
You can show them, and then just figure out that audience, be willing to do new stuff.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of anything.
Yeah.
And like you can follow our example.
Absolutely.
I mean, like at some point I'm going to offer what we've done. I'm going to offer what we've done for me to others. So like when we get to that point, if you want us to replicate what we've done for you, we can certainly have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because we want to see local people that are taking the risk, that have the courage, succeed in big ways.
Absolutely.
So, cool. Anything else, Weston, you think might be interesting to talk about?
Well, I did have like my own question more about the pressure washing. So I'm a car guy, right?
Okay.
And there's been like this huge trend over the past like 2 years to like foam the car with like a pressure washer.
Yeah.
And a lot of like the older generation tells us not to do that because it could damage clear coat on the car.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of like professional detailers do it. So like is that safe?
I actually have one of those foam cannon things, and really I'm not too much of a car person or anything, but I know what most people have the misconception about pressure washing is the pressure aspect of it. You really don't want to hit like too many things with a lot of pressure, and that goes with cars or vinyl siding. And of course you want to use like the right kind of soap too. You just don't want to use any old regular soap. But it's more so about the flow, the gallons per minute, rather than the pressure. But as far as the old cars, I don't blame them. I mean, if I had like an old car, I wouldn't want to blast it or anything like that. But yeah, it does look cool, the foam thing and stuff. I did that with my truck the other day because, as I said, I had one of those. But I think it's just, honestly, I think it's kind of like a fad. But that's just my personal opinion on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes back to just those like those self-serve like quick little car washes. If I had $100,000 car, I'd find the hand wash pro versus the daily wash on the because that's a pressure washer washing your car.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, like I have one because I hand wash my car like all the time.
Yeah.
So that way I know like the condition of it.
Yeah.
And I've been pressure washing it for like 2 years. Never had any issues. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just curious. It's like
that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, from a guy that knows what the power is behind that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and then I've had some homeowners that, I've given them quotes and, that's too much and stuff. And, that's okay. You don't win them all. But I ended up driving past that house, and they've destroyed their siding. And, like, as I said, you can't I learned when I first started doing this because I used to get on a ladder and hang off the side of a roof and pressure wash a house. And now I have the equipment to where I don't have to touch a ladder. You let the soap do all the work, and, it turns out 100 times better than actually pressuring.
And if you put holes in your siding and you try to sell that home, in most government loans, they're not going to pass your home with holes in the siding.
What was bad about this one? It wasn't holes. He stripped the paint off of the siding, and you could see like where they were trying to use the wand and stuff, and it was just a big spot on the house that it looked horrible.
Yep.
And, I'm all for it because I'm one of those people that, do it yourself and don't hire anybody and stuff like that. But there's sometimes, your home is an investment, that more than anybody. Yeah. And, decks and stuff like that. And with all that stuff, you do not want to hit it with extreme pressure or you're going to have problems.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think this is a good spot. George, man, I really appreciate you being on. We want to drive as much traffic your way as we possibly can. We will mention this and share this show with anybody that needs your service for sure. Any last words before we kind of wrap this thing up?
Well, I brought in a picture here.
Yeah.
Let me.
Grab it.
Little deck we redid. I got this right here. This guy had carpet on his deck. I would not recommend that either, to put carpet on your deck. All it does is just when it rains, it just the rain just soaks into it. But that was after we stripped it. It actually wasn't too bad. And then this was the final product right here.
Man, good job.
Yeah.
You did
it turned out real good. He was really happy about it. So
good work, man. Everything we've seen is definitely good work. Now you got Instagram, Facebook. I mean, you got all those social medias, right?
Yes.
What they want. A lot of people are on Instagram right now. That's like the platform of choice for most people. How are they going to find you on Instagram?
With Instagram, it's at Beamer Solutions. And really, the main thing, honestly, I honestly just have focused on Facebook because I've realized noticed that a bunch of my customers they're not into the Instagram or the TikTok or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I've just been, and of course you can find me on Facebook, Beamer Solutions, or you can go online at www.beamersolutionswork.com, or you can just give me a call or shoot me a text message if you have a job or something like that. Sometimes I'm able to actually give you a quote with the pressure washing, on the spot without having to go out and, give a quote. But you can contact me at 540-267-4995.
Okay, great. And we're going to, if you're on YouTube, we're going to link that in the description. If you guys are watching on Facebook, go to YouTube and like this video on YouTube as well. And anybody that needs a service, we're going to be able to definitely direct you to him. So if you miss this for any reason and you need this information, it'll be ready for you on our YouTube channel like tomorrow at the latest. So, man, I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Scott. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
All right. So next week we got some good buddies of mine coming in. They're from New River Engraving. Zach Nagel, Andrew Howery are going to be on the show, and we're going to talk about their business, what's kind of going on in their life. They're good friends of mine, so it's going to be a different dynamic next week. We might talk about some personal stuff, that we've experienced together, and that the turbulation or trials and tribulations we've had, and the experiences we've had together, and all of that stuff. So next week is going to be somebody that I'm intimately, personally, in a relationship that's long standing, 15 plus years with these guys. So I'm really excited to have somebody on that knows me like long term, and that we can kind of chat and just kind of mix it up. So always a pleasure, or always appreciated you guys watching. And again, go over to YouTube. We're really trying to grow our YouTube channel. Subscribe over there. And that's episode 43 today. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next week.